Welcome everybody to the Football Exponential Podcast. Today I'm joined by Frank.
Okay, hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the show.
Yeah, welcome. Today there's no Premier League game. It's all
Yeah,
about international. So, so let's go. We start with Pogba. The French superstar has been released with from Juventus. Yesterday, right? That it was made public.
yeah. Yesterday was
Thiago,
it's been rumored for a while, but yesterday was confirmed that end of the month is going to be free to find employment somewhere else.
and when is the suspension ending?
I think he can start
March.
March, yeah. So he can start training in January. So March, there's probably going to be I don't know. Well, yeah,
It was 18 months suspension, right? It was now 18 months.
yes, it's a month, yeah.
Okay. So with Pogba, he claims he still has the desire. He wants to play the game and all those. He had an interview where after the interview, you called me. I told you I didn't bother to watch the interview because
No, because
he
he
was.
had. No, 'cause I think he had. He didn't just have one interview. He had several interviews, different with UK media, French media, Italian media as well. So I think it was an opportunity for him to put out his story for people to hear his point of view, his future plans. Because I listened and watched the majority of the interviews he did at that point. And I still think there's still, because the question comes in, like you said, like what's Pogba's main intention? Is it to get back to the level he was? Because let's not forget, he's still 31. That's still a decent age these days. He still has a lot to give. But the question then comes, what's his main motivation right now? Is it,
But whenever there are certain things that whenever it goes wrong, it's difficult to get back. Desire.
yeah,
Pogba's
exactly.
desire has been questioned for years. It didn't just start yesterday. Like I feel Pogba was stealing money from Man United like 3 years before his contract ended. I so much feel that he was stealing from United. Now this is why I don't really like the individual. I like his ability or his what will I say? I like that way of showing that it's not just about football. I don't believe footballers should just play football. They have a
Yeah.
life, be it fashion. I love that about them because they have a life after the game. Not everybody will end up being a coach. That's why I get angry when they tell players to shut up and dribble. No, they want to get into politics. So I like that. But the problem I have is it shouldn't take away from your production or from your productivity on the field.
Okay.
Be it injury, be it anything. Pogba started showing decline. So right now, I will ask you this question. Right, with Juventus releasing him, what do you think is the best thing for him football wise? Not for the clubs, but for Pogba as an individual. Which clubs do you think he should play for or should go for him? Or you think he should go to America? You think he should retire? You think he should go to Saudi Arabia?
No, no, no. I think it's like I said. I think you have to find out what are his main motivations right now. And if he's willing to entertain offers from America or Saudi Arabia, then I know he just wants to cash
I
out
think he,
to
I
cash
think he
out to
miss,
them.
I think he misses what the game offers. He doesn't miss the game.
But I still feel in terms of his work, I still believe, like you said, like at United, he had his issues at United. But a lot of people ask at United how many of them in this recent years have actually succeeded consistently at that club. Now, you can only think of one player and that's probably Bruno Fernandes. That you've seen his level still being at a specific point. But with Pogba, I think I would first of all, I hope he doesn't come back to England. He should never come back to come and play football in England because he has a lot of I won't say I won't say a lot of people. He has a lot of
Yeah. His
he
reputation
has
in England is not
yeah,
really.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's not really best. So
it's
so
not
so
really
I
big,
don't think
really. Yeah. He's
So
been branded to a certain way that it's easy anything he does to be blown out of
exactly.
context.
So I feel for him like England like he comes to Premier League is out of the question. So he has two options. I think there are a few good teams in France where he can go to be contribute to the team. Less expectation on him to perform week in week out on the club. So say a team for example like off the top of my head like Lille for example in France, or you go to a club like Nice, those kind of clubs where you get
Yeah.
the game time to build your career, build your fitness, build your career. You're in a nice environment that is also protected, shielded, and you can show your qualities again on pitch. But while thinking about it, I feel this is an opportunity for one club in Italy to take advantage of, and that's Inter Milan. I think Inter Milan would be an amazing fit for Pogba because he's going to go to a club that has good that's settled. The formation is settled. This is a formation that we've seen Pogba. The best we've seen Pogba play at club level was at Juve with this 3-5-2 formation, three in the middle of the park. I feel if he can get himself right mentally and physically, and I feel Inter Milan would be a good fit for him because he's going there not as the main man. They already have Lataros, Barella, Turams, and whatnot, but they have that midfield is aging with a player like Mkhitaryan is already aging. They also have good options that he can rotate with. But whenever you come up to that team, come into the team is well prepared, well coached. You know your role, what your role is, and he can bring more creativity and goal scoring to that team. But again, I still go back to the main point. I just feel where exactly is Pogba right now? Is he on a revenge tour to prove a point? Because I just checked the next World Cup is not far away. It's not.
Oh,
He can.
it's
He can still
2026, right?
exactly. He can still make the next World Cup if he really puts the shifting. And we saw we can't take. We saw we can't. They can't take disappeared from the national team. Went to Saudi. Then gets called back for the Euros this year. So it's not. It's not far from. It's not above the question for Pogba contributing to France at the next World Cup. I feel he just needs to get to the right environment and just start playing football again. But not in England. He has few friends here. I think he just needs to find the right environment, play football, show your talent again. Because Pogba on Pogba's talent level, it's is up there with the best that's ever played football. It's just what comes around the talent, the mentality, the hard work, the discipline. That's all been questionable, but for me, the talent is undeniable with Paul Pogba.
Okay. Now, for me, if you are watching us and you are enjoying what you're doing, please smash the like button, follow, subscribe, and then you can comment. For me, before this, I had two teams. I'm not. I don't feel. I feel that it's riskier to come to the Premier League, but I think the risk is worth it if he wants to play football. And there are two teams in the Premier League. If I'm an executive there, I'm thinking of calling him. But before I call him, I have to speak to people who are close to him, his former coaches, whoever. I have to speak to them and understand where he is. And I'm sitting down with him, I'm reading him and trying to know is his mind because I want to know if his mind is there. And those teams are Bournemouth and Leicester. This is why.
Hmm.
I'll go with Bournemouth. This is why. If his position, you look at Bournemouth, they have Avanilo in front, they have Semenyo, they have Cavalier, they have is it Cook or Christie? Someone
They
was
have
pushed
they,
forward.
they have
So
Chris, yeah.
Christie and Cook played midfield, but Christie was pushed forward in last game. They have Justin Kluivert. If you look at the way the system they play a certain system that he plays like Thomas Frank. Even if someone is not missing, if someone is not there, someone else's plays his position, you don't notice it, right? It's a system team, not usually a players team. And in all of them, they are apart from Semenyo, all these guys are not overly productive. Cavalier can do some magic. You understand what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah,
if you
exactly. Yeah,
plug in
exactly.
Pogba, and they are not overly physical like Bournemouth, that like Brentford, that is so much energy, right? They play a compact style, but also you have to look at him because this is what I'm looking at. with him coming back from injury, he can start as an impact substitute, get some 20 minutes here in, get so. But the problem is, does his mentality is more riskier for Bournemouth than it is for Pogba because he can go there and rock the boots and destroy whatever they built.
No, I think it's that's why I said like I don't want him to come back to because if he comes back to England and he
Let me
doesn't,
call the second team
yeah.
Leicester.
Mm.
Hold on. This I'm not saying I'm saying teams that piece an individual. Leicester are so
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
that they have
Then
destroyers. They've moved the Wilfred the back behind Jamie
it's
Vardy. It's
a
that bad.
playmaker now.
They have
Yeah,
skip.
yeah,
They have
yeah,
skip. So
yeah,
this is what I'm
yeah.
saying. So if you are looking these two teams, I'm not talking about Southampton because that's totally different.
No,
I'm
no,
not
no,
talking
no,
about
no, no.
Brentford. So I'm saying in theory, it can work with. In theory, practical is totally different. In theory, it can work with these two teams, but are they going to pursue it? I don't think so
Uh,
because right now Pogba should be thinking about salary. I'm not saying if you really want to play the game, then if you think of salary, then in France should be the best. I'm not even thinking of Italy. France should be the best. There's so many teams. There's Monaco. There's Lille. There's so many
exactly.
teams. There's Saint
Yeah,
Etienne.
yeah.
Like to me, he will be at home. The home crowd. That's the best case scenario for me. He would. If I'm him, I'm not taking so much risk. I'll just stay in France. But I don't
Yeah.
know how much he's loved in France. I don't know. I don't know.
No, because I think Pogba is a player that didn't really have a footballing career in France. Of course, he came through the academies, but he moved to United when he was quite young. So he hasn't. As if I expect him to have good rapport with most French clubs because he's not really tied to a specific region, whether Marseille or Lyons or Paris. So I feel he can go. But if you want to go, but if you want to take it a bit
But
further in terms of
the Premier League players always complain about the press. In France, is worse.
yes, but yes,
France. The Spanish press are much friendly to their players. Even Italian press. France, the French press. If you remember, who's this United legend? What's his name? Remember him? What's his name? The United legend that won number 7 before Beckham wore the number 7.
Cantona.
Cantona. But despite in France, he had to move to England. You see so many of them, their press,
Yeah,
their players. Yeah, so uh, I don't know. I don't know how it is right now. It's like they are like the press on the Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich is the club that
no, no, no,
is like
but
the Manchester United of Germany, where ex players, everybody has a voice.
but
Yeah, I
what
mean,
about? But we've talked about some clubs. What about a club in Spain that's just lost one of the best midfielders around, and they've really struggled to replace that creativity, that vision in the midfield? What about Real Madrid? Because I feel that
I
that's a
haven't thought
team
about
that
that.
I think that's a team that needs they need quality in that midfield. They need not even quality. They need bodies in that midfield. Fit people. I know Pogba's fitness is questionable at this moment in time, but I still feel with the chemistry he has with obviously the guys from France, Tchouameni, Camavingas, Mbappe as well. We saw at the World Cup in 2018 when the France were World Cup winners. He made Mbappe. He got the best out of Mbappe with his long passing and his range of creativity. But I still feel I don't know if it's an option they have to explore because I feel Madrid have to go into this.
Oh, it's an option. It's a good option. I didn't
I
think
don't.
about it. It's a very. He's a star. It
It's
won't take him time to get used to the environment. I get what you're saying, but
exactly
my
because
problem is
I
the mentality. What is his desire? I doubt that, and that's the biggest question. Let's move
yeah,
over to the next one. What do you think is the implication of the Premier League with David Coates? The viral
David
video.
Coote.
Yeah, the viral
Oh,
video.
my guy.
It is for more context. There's a video going around where he called uh, the Jurgen Klopp the German C word, and then after having said that, he said he despised Manch. Is it Liverpool? He despised Liverpool. He called Liverpool,
Liverpool,
and then the referee
um,
down. Is he a referee or a second official?
no, no,
What?
no, it's a referee because like most referees, they all alternate between. fourth officials and VAR, so they're all referees.
Okay, a referee, and then there's some of his calls are questionable. I think it was the referee the day Van Dijk was injured. The
Yeah,
injury, the cruciate ligament injury that he spent ended his season. There's so many questionable calls, and then I was still when that happened. I was still like, people make mistakes. When the second video came out about him substance abuse, I'm like, that's the end. I don't think he can ever be a referee.
no, he was running down the line on that table.
I didn't no, I didn't even. I got so mad. I didn't even bother. It hurts me. This topic is something I don't like discussing because this is I don't like people questioning the integrity of the game. It destroys the game. That's like
No, yeah, boy,
like that.
but I
Bad
feel
eggs. Yeah.
no, but in this situation, this is why I feel it's it may I may sound a bit dramatic, but I feel this is a make or break period for the refereeing board in Premier League, the PGMOL, Howard Webb, and all the referees. Where you're going for the last few years, the refereeing in the Premier League has gotten significantly worse. We can all agree on that. And the standard of refereeing has not improved. There's been questionable decisions week in, week out, and the overall trust in the refereeing association or refereeing board and how well who has it's at an all-time low. And you see every week you go on social media, the debates, they got this wrong, they didn't look at this, they didn't check that, they didn't double check that. It's all been messy. And with this problem, this situation now, you have this referee where this incident, I feel the first one where we was talking about Jurgen Klopp happened a few years ago, about 4 years ago during the pandemic. So the questions I would ask, and I would like to, I hope as a football fan we get answers to this. So this been who's been aware of this video? Has the refereeing body been aware of this video, or has it been kept secret under wraps?
That's something
Do
we'll
we
never
know?
know. But I suspect
And
they've been aware because he stopped refereeing for Liverpool games. People notice he hasn't
yeah,
refereed Liverpool games. So they
yeah.
must have seen
So
that. They might have been blackmailing him all these years. And
ex,
that's what I
ex,
just
ex,
feel.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it throws in the question that okay, who's had possession of this video? Has it been some agencies that could put him in compromising positions in terms of the integrity of his decision making when he's refereeing games, just basically blackmailing him or stuff like that. And if the refereeing body has known about this, why haven't they been a bit more upfront about it? Why have they not? Okay, because like you said, like people make mistakes, and that's fine. People make mistakes, but what comes after those mistakes? What's
But
the accountability?
this is where I have a problem. There are some people don't have good. The society is a divide. It's difficult to see who is in the middle. It's either you hate them or you like them. The police is one of
Who?
those people. Police is one of those people.
Yeah,
Right? I'm talking about not in Scandinavian countries. I'm talking about especially like America or maybe the UK. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. The police is sort of it's difficult to be in the middle. And the problem I'm having with this case is that I see people he was caught with substance abuse or whatever. Not we are not 100% sure. But I see people instead of asking for help, asking how they can help him, they're criticizing him. But if he was a player, it would have been the other. No, understand what I'm saying? All I'm saying is
well,
understand what I'm saying.
well, yeah,
If he
I
was a
understand.
player, Maradona, everybody kept saying, "Oh, we need." But this is all the individual. To me, I'm on record saying he should never referee any football game. Understand what I'm saying? He should never,
Yeah,
because now the integrity and everything is at stake. But at the same time, he's a human being. He needs help. I'm looking at folks in social media trying to attack because if you notice what I'm saying, people don't like referees. Everything
yeah,
but the referees are part of the game. You
yeah.
understand what I'm
Okay,
trying to say? People have to realize that the game cannot go on without referee. If you notice Howard Webb, every referee have something. The only referee that is different is maybe Colina or something. Every referee have something negative to be said about them. They've
no,
made mistakes. Go on with your life. Yeah, continue.
no, like I agree with a lot of what you said, and most a lot of most referees have left the game, they've made mistakes, but you're entering, like you mentioned, the police, and you're entering a case where is this institution, the refereeing body in the Premier League, there's very few people trust it. They don't trust
They
how it's
don't
been
trust them.
operated. They don't trust the how they approach the situations when mistakes are made. Are they forthright in their mistakes, or they feel there's always a cover up when mistakes happen, especially on TV when say during the Premier League weekend mistakes are made. They have different Monday shows in different countries where they have ex referees on the panel. They bring them in and they ask them, okay, what do you think of this decision? More often than not, you see the referees always trying to play fast and loose with the interpretation of the law, where they're not they're not honest with it. It's like, oh, okay, I feel we should have done this, but they don't always call it out where their mistakes. And I just feel it's with this specific like it's not a binary situation where you can feel sympathy for him as a man, as a human being, because
Yeah,
I
as an
feel right now
individual.
he's probably at the lowest he's ever been. But also on the professional level, you have to I expect, because he's in a position of power, I have to expect more from people like him. He's not just a football player. He's he's an official of the game.
Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying.
If you're in that position, we have to expect you to live to certain standards. And when you're proven not to meet those standards, you should be expected to be punished. And when you get punished, we expect a bit more transparency with the whole situation. Okay, did we know about this video for how long? When did we first see this video or see this content of him misbehaving? Okay, what were the punishments? Okay, did we find out years ago and we stopped him from refereeing Liverpool games or Everton games? Because it's not just Liverpool insulted; it's also insulted the whole Merseyside as a place, Liverpool and Everton as well. Okay, did he go through any punishments, internal punishments? You can all this could have happened, but that could have been kept in house. But when it's brought to light, I expect in the next few days Howard to come on TV because he's not shy from going on TV. He's been on podcast a lot this last few months. Come out and say, okay, no, this is what we know, this is when we found out, and this is what we did. But if you try and just cover it up and just keep it quiet and hope with time it gets blown away, people won't forget this
But
because
if you notice
because
the way the Premier League is structured, the referees are not answerable to anybody. They
well,
don't
no,
hold
but
press conferences. You understand? I'm just saying the
yeah, I
system
know,
should be changed a
yeah,
little bit.
exactly.
As
So,
we
no,
were
no, for
talking, yeah,
no, for me, I feel I've had this opinion for a long time. I feel the PGM role in the Premier League, they need to disband it. Howard needs to be sacked. They need to get they need to get an independent body into that situation. Get higher refs from abroad, from other parts of Europe. Bring them in, let them train the refs, let them hold them accountable because they're all friends, and I don't like. It's hard to police your friends,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and I feel the Premier League it's a billion pound industry. There's a lot at
But you
stake
know, when the
with every
sponsors are
decision.
not even, when the sponsors don't care, like all these things, if the sponsors demand this is what we need to be done, Barclays, they have so many sponsors thinking, man, and the money is good. Because if they don't take any action, if nothing hits their bottom line, whenever money comes in, that's when they take action. Because
Yeah, and
there's nothing like press conferences to explain this. That's why no matter how I look at our web, I'm still grateful or happy that he goes on board because at least there should be an avenue where you tell people
I
this is
hate I hate
this
it.
is
I absolutely hate it. You can't be in that position of power. I don't see you on TV on podcast making jokes with ex Manchester United players or Liverpool legend. I don't want to see it because what that does is if it
but you
fuels
know it
a
happens off camera. You
yeah, but
don't
see,
end
but
up
no,
saying it.
yeah, that's off camera. Republicans and Democrats are all friends off camera, but they won't come on camera and I mean cracking jokes in front, on CNN. You can do what you do off camera. That's for you and your pals. But we're talking about what we see on TV. It's the whole it feeds into the whole conspiracy of Howard Webb, specifically Howard Webb being in league with Manchester United all those years ago, helping them get decisions that favorable
Hold on.
uh,
Web is it
favorable
the same one
decisions.
that went to Saudi Arabia?
No, that's
It's Webb.
Michael. Exactly, that's Michael Oliver. That's another point again where you have
No,
a
no,
Premier.
not
One of
Oliver. It's Webb. Webb had a tattoo. He had to wear long sleeve. It's Webb, right? It's Webb. The
so
referee Chelsea versus Manchester United that they gave like two penalties. It was 3-3. That was our Webb.
yeah, I'm not sure, but like even like you said, but it's another situation where one of the best Premier League referees now, Michael Oliver, he's
Mhm.
he's gone all the way to Saudi to the desert or to the Gulf to referee charity games that have been organized by owners who are or by organized by bodies that have ties to Man City Football Club. You understand? So
Oh,
where
I
it
get what
does
you're saying.
so it's I feel it's getting to a point where this could be Calciopoli level of scandal in the Premier League because it brings the question, okay, if it's okay, is it just one person, is it just one bad apple, or is it one or two, or is it a case where the whole basket is rotten? I believe this is not the last of it. More
Don't
videos will
give me
come out
that.
about more videos, more innuendo, more suggestions, more pictures will come out about other referees in the next few weeks or months. And the Premier League, of course, because the Premier League is just 20 clubs that are shareholders in the league. I think all letters should be sent out or should have been sent out in the last few days. We need answers, not just they don't need to be public. They don't need to be made public. I want Howard Webb to meet with every Premier League member and explain the situation to them. You have to find a way to get even if it's a little bit of trust back into the organization as soon as possible because I feel one part of that is very fortunate that it's this whole event did not involve Arsenal as a football club. Because if Arsenal were involved and how dramatic their fans are, they would have taken this all the way to the Supreme Court. They would have asked for politicians to get involved. They would have asked. There would have been social injustice riots in London
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
to get to the end of it. So I think it's quite lucky that's in that point. But I feel they have to they have to be they have to be at least seen as acting in the right manner. And whether if you come out and say, "Oh, okay, we're investigating all those statements," but you need to do more. Because God forbid now the Premier League comes back next weekend, and the first game back or the first few games, there comes one bad decision from a ref that's blatantly obvious.
Definitely.
Okay, what's this referee been up to in the last few days? Has it been drinking? Has it been on something else? What's it been up to? Because it's I think it's a really and because like you said again, it's a human being, but again, this you have a professional position. You should behave professionally, and
I
he's not
don't
just
know.
affected himself. No, but it's not
CPW, the
just affected
damage
himself.
camera can do. I don't just understand why. If you're no longer in control when it's even if it's your phone, you're no longer. Let's
No,
move over to the next one. Like I just wish him is in good suicidal and all
no,
those things. I never
no. I
want
wish no.
someone's life to be
So,
destroyed.
so, so
But
I
he shouldn't
wish I
referee.
wish no, I wish he's getting the right care, the right attention from the Premier League and the whole organization. He should get that, but he should also get the right punishment as well. So, and I feel like that he should never be allowed to ref a Premier. No, to referee a game in England anymore. He should go. He can go become whatever he wants to be, but go join the police force or like it. But as a ref in Premier League, he's done.
But it's still better than us hearing that he accepted money or something. That is what makes it a little bit better than maybe he was paid or betting scandal.
Well,
It's more of an
well,
integrity issue about his emotions. If he
no,
somebody
but
accuses him of, let's go to the
I
next one.
know.
What do you think about Manchester United this season under Ruben Amorim? You think the new manager bounce? They have a new bounce or towards the end of the season, you think is enough time for him to implement so many of his system, or is a good fit just for short term, not long term? You think
So
Man U
long term,
can
just
qualify for Champions League with his appointment?
let me, I'm just looking at the Premier League table. I think because it's still a very Manchester United are currently they are 13th and they're only 4 points off the top four positions. So it's not the season hasn't really they've had a disastrous start, but it's not been you can still salvage the season because it's still early days in the season. But I feel with whenever you have a change this seismic at the club at like United, and the manager that's going to come in and have because the first because in the last I believe the last couple of days he's had a lot of interviews, a lot of social outings at the club. Was pictures of him speculating around Old Trafford when he's been on tour at the stadium. You see, you see it from the pictures. You can tell he's already connecting with the club, the fan base, and some of the players as well that he's met. But I feel that's one side of the job. But I feel the side that you're going to be judged the hardest on is on the pitch. How can he come in and affect change as soon as possible at this club, be it tactically, physically, and mentally in terms of the players not performing. And I feel if we were to set an expectation for him this season, I feel it's just to first of all come in and tactically implement his ideas as early as possible. So if he's coming in to stick to his favorite formation, be it a 3-4-3 or whatever variation of that, he should come in and from the very first game implement that formation. Then you go from there. Then you find out which players fit into that system, where you need to reinforce, players you need to move on. Find the players, like I said in the past, players that you can trust to run and work hard in that team. And if more important, find players that refuse and will not work for this team. Find those players out in the first, I believe it should by in the next 6 weeks, you should already have an idea because there are certain players at United I feel not just even the coach, but I feel the fans already feel they're just quote unquote dead wood just at the club. A player like Rashford, for example, a player like Maguire. What happens to these kind of players? So I feel there's still chances of them having a good season, be it qualify for the top five because the fifth place goes to gets your Champions League as well. Depends on how English teams perform in Europe. So but I feel with the competitive nature of the Premier League, I see them finishing just below the top five. They could, I could find them, I see them finishing somewhere around like a sixth or seventh position, but it's almost as if I feel, I in a way, I feel I don't want, for his own sake, I don't want him to come in, overachieve.
Yeah, to
Then the
start. Yeah,
expect,
that's what
then the
managers
expe-
don't know. Like Xavi. Yeah,
then the
like
expectation,
also this
then
Barca coach Flick or whatever. Sometimes when you do that, people forget you are human. The next season now they expect the same thing when there's
and
a problem.
and but also, I feel like if you do that, it changes perception of. So, say for example, a player like Rashford, who I believe I love Rashford as a player. I love Rashford, but I feel Rashford should have been moved on, either be it from his own decision or the club's decision. That marriage between the player and the club is just not there anymore. And I know there's a new manager now. There's a new manager bounce. A new manager comes in. Rashford can go for the next 6 months, where it's amazing. But we've seen the problem. The problem with Rashford is he has a good 6 months followed by another bad 12 months, and you can't carry a player that's that expensive. Because Rashford is no longer a young player. Rashford is 27 now. He should be
Yeah.
one of the leaders in that. He should be one of the leaders in that team. So I feel in terms of changing the culture of the club, because I feel just come in, implement your ideas tactically, find the players you can trust, and the ones you don't believe in, or you can't get them to buy into what you're trying to do. You have to move those players on swiftly. You shouldn't like. I feel it's important to have. You should not a clear, but you should not compromise on. You should not compromise if players that you bought last 3 months ago, the Ugarte, the Joshua, the kid from McDonald's, what's his name, the Dutch striker,
Oh, Zexit.
um,
Is he from McDonald's?
Zex, yeah, McDonald's, Happy Meal.
He said he's
If you
an eight
so,
and a half. I don't. This is the problem I have with Amorim. I don't know much about the manager, but from what I read, I think he's good. But the problem is, I have no faith in this United executive. And the executive or the
mm,
executive board that end of the season decided to give an extension to Ten Hag. Like, I don't understand that. Extended Ten
Questionable.
Hag. Say they were doing a
Questionable.
review. That's fine. What do you mean? So you wait till the end of the season to do a review. As the season is going on, you are doing your review. You understand what I'm? So you wait till end of the season. They were doing a review. It took 2 weeks or whatever. There was rumor they were with the Zebi. There was rumor they were with Tuku. They came back. They said Ten Hag is the manager. Okay, they did. After that, they gave him an extension. Then they started signing players for his sake. They started signing Mazuari. They started. I'm like thinking, what are you doing? So that tells me that maybe they're not really that good, or they are emotional. I don't. So the problem I'm having
No,
is,
it
yeah.
shows because I feel because like the guys they have Dan Ashworth from Newcastle, Brighton, and the English FA. The other guy, the CEO Omar Barada from Man City Football Group. Jason Wilcox from Southampton, who has good reputation in the industry. Like these are capable guys, well respected names in English football. And
Mhm.
I feel what was the problem for them in the at the end of last season was the fact that United won that final against Man City,
Oh,
and it's because I believe had they lost that final on that day, he gets sacked.
yeah.
No, there's no question about it. But when you win again, short term gain, short term performance, where you win that final, it makes it tough to get to make that decision. But I also feel the best clubs they make that decision regardless. Where like
Yeah.
you Champions League, cup final or not, for the last 9 months of that season, they were a poor team. So you make that decision, then you find the replacement quickly. But you know what? We're here now. They've made this is I believe this is their second massive decision they've had to make. The first one was extending Ten Hag and ultimately sacking him after 9 games into the season. Now they have this is their second decision they have to make. They've made now where they've gotten this guy, they've gotten him quickly. January is gonna come quickly, then have to access again. Okay, with his specific style of play, do we need to get special wing backs into the club? Do we need to get because what happens to a player like Rashford, Maguire? What happened to those players? Where do you need to strengthen the squad in the January window? But just I think ultimately it's just I feel the culture in that club has been bad for a long time. So I believe his mandate should be one, establish your identity and impose your identity on this team as soon as possible. Find the right players for your system. Bring the club together. Just even as simple as your communication method with the fans, in your press conferences with the media, how you relate to media. You think because I believe that's one of the things that killed Ten Hag in the
I feel my heart. I feel that that club might consume the young woman.
because I
They
saw
won't be
pictures of him
patient
going out.
because the way I'm seeing it, I don't even think they're getting themselves next season. This is a real long term because
Then,
it comes
then
if he qualifies, if he finishes fifth this season, then he's a damn good manager. Because every other person, you look at the table, Aston Villa, I keep
mhm.
saying it, have come to stay. Like it's not, they've come to stay. You look at Liverpool,
Aston
you look
Villa.
at Arsenal, you look at forget about even Chelsea. Only Tottenham have declined. You look at maybe Newcastle, they are getting better.
So
Bournemouth, they are
you,
building something. All I'm saying is
s-
Fulham, so many teams are getting better
Fulham. So
every season. So I'm not saying they'll finish above you, but you getting points against them becomes a lot difficult. So that
look,
tells me now that they have to be patient, but I don't think they can. That's the problem.
no, because it's again it's a tough one because the enormity of the problem is not just this issue did not start last season or didn't start with Ten Hag. This is our sixth full-time coach since Sir Alex retired. So they've tried for years. It's more than 10 years now. When they've tried different managers, they've tried Van Gaal.
He left
They've
2015, like 9 years. He left in 2015. 2015 was the last season.
Yeah, so they've tried an experienced manager in Van Gaal. They've tried tried a proven manager in
Winner in
Mourinho.
Mourinho.
you've tried
That,
the young you've tried an ex player become coach. Ole, you've tried an upcoming manager in from Ajax, Ten Hag. So you've gotten. I feel they've gone younger now. This is a very because he looks very young. Like I was looking at some of his coaching assistants are 27 and 29.
Mhm.
So also to add his own point, I feel right now for the first time in a long time, what they have this time around, they have a good footballing structure where
they have
you can see people are in place in different levels of the club. Those are in charge of the there's a new CEO, there's a new sporting director, there's a new technical director. You see those positions are filled by experienced people. So I just hope they make the right decisions in terms of player recruitment, culture, shaping the club because I feel it's going to take it. They, I feel they will need about 3 windows. So a January window this summer, another January window, then the other summer as well to get the right players in. And because his but for me, from the outside looking, it's going to be interesting to see how how he fits different players into his tactical framework because he plays with 3-man defense with wing backs. United don't have they have 2 left backs that are currently who have been injured for the majority of the last year. You probably need another left wing back. So shout out Benjamin Chilwell from Chelsea. That could be a good move for him. Um,
who are
center
forgetting about
backs,
him.
center backs. You need aggressive, strong center backs that can play out of the back. That are also good in transitions as well. Um, Delete and Lenny Euro could be are good options. Lisandro Martinez is another good option, but I won't be surprised if we see Casemiro as a centre back in
You can try
United
that.
for a while. You
Yeah.
can try that. Then if you get midfield, you get Ugarte, Meno as well. But the interesting part of it will be in the attack. How do you get the Danish striker
Who are they playing on
McDonald's?
Saturday?
His
What is
first game is against Ipswich Town away from home.
that's
So,
a good
but they
game.
have yes, but I know. So I think they have a good run of games leading up to the new year. They have so it's their first five Premier League games are Ipswich Town away, Everton at home, then the big one, Arsenal away in this early December. So I feel like that could be a game where he makes his mark as a Manchester United manager, where if he can get a positive result and performance against their arch rivals Arsenal, that would set him up nicely. So after Arsenal, they have Nottingham Forest
Oh,
at
that is a
home.
good one.
Then in mid December, they have the Manchester Derby. So in December, they have 2 tough games against their 2 arch rivals, Arsenal and Man City. Then it gets it's no you know what I take it back. They have some from leading up to the January transfer window. They have some tough games. They have
They
Liverpool.
won't sign, I don't know how you will be forced to overpay.
No, I know, but I believe they need to get at least one body in, specifically at left wing back. Because if you have to then go to Ugarte Dalo, who are right backs playing at left back, that they can
Yeah,
do a
yeah,
job.
yeah.
But where you had access to play at left wing back, it's a different job. Or do you play Garnacho as a left wing back or Rashford? Can you trust those players in those positions? So, but I feel they can get like a player like Chilwell. Why I mention Chilwell is a player you can get on a short term deal because Chelsea are desperate to move him on. You can get him on a loan option to buy just to buy you time before you find the right option. But I feel back again. I feel they need to get the right pieces in for him. To pick players that can come in with the right intensity, right mentality to make it work. But I also feel it's just a bit of time. You have to adjust. And this is a message not just to fans. I feel it's a message to the Avengers, the United ex players, the
This
whole the
Gary
whole
Neville, Tom Scholes,
all of them, Gary
alumni.
Neville schools, exactly
And
the
they
ex.
have clubs and I don't know what the clubs are doing. Safford, I don't even know where they're playing. Like if they are that good in Let's if they're that good,
No,
I don't know. The club should be in Premier League or in League
because
One right now.
no, because just before I feel like those guys are the ones that probably will they will decide the flow of the discussions in terms of him. So if it
Mm.
gets bad results, then the cliche comes in like, oh, this is not the Manchester United way. This is not the Manchester United we know. This is a big club. We expect big things. Just let the guy come in. Let him get his feet under the table. Feel comfortable. Make his decisions. Let him build up to build something. And because it's a, I feel this is the biggest job in European football. Like, because it's a,
Yeah. It's a massive club.
yeah.
Frank, you have something for our fans before we call it a day?
No. I think it's a slow news day, but it's. Well, I think we have some interesting visuals coming on the page in the next few days, so
Okay.
they can keep an eye out for that. But till then,
Okay.
till next time.
Th- Thank you, everyone. See you again next week. Frank, thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Okay, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.